All right, so welcome to Lilacorns2mightyoaks channel. It has been so long since I have been on YouTube, right? And but it's new things are happening, right? So I just want to welcome you back. It's 2024, new things are happening. All right, cool. So welcome back to the channel, and I'm your host, Nicole Mathieu-Marius. I am your trigger management coach for the mamas out there. I help very easily triggered and overwhelmed Christian kingdom minded mamas. I really help them to embrace their unique styles of parenting and hey Advent. So I help them embrace their unique styles of parenting and make motherhood doable. Like, just make it more doable. People look at me and they're like, Nick, how do you do it? Like, what's your qualifications for this? Like, are you a teacher? Do you have some PhD? Listen, I have a PhD. I have lots of children. I do this thing like every day and I'm alive. Yeah. And people look at me and they're like, how are you so happy? I have one or I have two. And like, they're just driving me crazy. I'm like, listen, the joy of the Lord, the joy of the Lord. All right. So we're about to embark on a new series, right? Oh, so first of all, I want to welcome you. The channel is here, but this section of the channel is now called, you ready for it? Untriggered Mama Huddle, right? This is the Untriggered Mama Huddle. This is going to be happening every Sunday morning, 6 a.m. EST, 11 a.m. GMT, and any other PT, whatever it might be. You got to figure it out. I don't know. I know those two. So that's what it's going to be. So welcome to the Untriggered Mama Huddle. Here, I'm just going to be helping, giving some biblical wisdom, some experience, some encouragement to mummies, and just helping you get through. Not just get through. I don't want you to just get through. I don't want you to just survive. I want you to be thriving in your motherhood journey. Yeah, I've been in the situation where I was not thriving. I was definitely not thriving. Postnatal depression, all of the things, and I had to make a decision. Am I going to stay like this? Am I going to be one of those people that like think, what happened? Or am I going to make something happen? And so because of this, this is why I'm here. I'm here to help you. This is my calling. I've just accepted it. Lord, okay, this is it. Use me. Okay. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Advert. That Untriggered Mama Huddle. This is what we do. This is what we do Sunday morning. Untriggered Mama Huddle. Right? Cool. So we're about to start a new series. I believe it's seven. There's going to be seven. There's something significant about the number 7. We'll do numbers and stuff like that because I still don't understand numbers properly, but I know number 7 is important because there are 7 days of the week and 7 days, for creation. 7 is an important number for God. So there's 7 so far. Okay. So this new series is called 7 Keys to Tranquil Motherhood. And the first one, this first key, I'm hoping not to keep you very long. Just gonna, yeah. So I don't want to be here for like hours and hours. Like, let's just keep it short, sweet, and just, all right, cool. So one of the things I'm going to ask you as well, stay with me as I navigate this stuff. Like, I don't know about YouTube and I had to upload a video. I don't know about YouTube Live. So just work with me. Okay, cool. I'm just doing what God's asked me to do. I'm just doing what he's saying. So key number 1, today's key number 1, we are dealing with the title of this is called Who's That Girl? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of who's that girl? And I don't mean EVE, like who's that girl? Okay, we're not talking about her. We're Christian people. We don't know who she is. Okay, so who's that girl? I'm speaking about you, mummy. Like, who's that girl? When you look in the mirror, you're not really a girl. You're a woman. But who is she? Like, what is she like? Who is she? What does she stand for? Morals, values. Like, who are you? And one of the first keys to a tranquil motherhood, to understanding, like just having a more peaceful motherhood and enjoying the journey and embracing your unique motherhood and being able to make it doable, is knowing who you are and knowing whose you are. And this is a problem that I believe that every mother goes through, because it's a whole transition once you become a mum. And depending on how quickly you become a mum, like, so sometimes it's like, you get married and then quickly, soon after you get married, you have a baby. Sometimes the baby happens before you get married in certain situations, like, I'm not naming any names, but anyway, so, you have this whole transition that you're having to go through, figuring out who you are now, because who you were before, you can't be exactly the same person. Your friends change, everything kind of changes, because now you're focused on this little human being. And then you have to split. I'm focused on this little human being and my spouse, or this little human being and going back to work, little human being and going to study, or whatever it might be. So you've got different, but who is she? Like, who is this woman? And we go through this like identity crisis, and it can last a very, very long time. And that's one of the things I see mummies struggling with, because they no longer know who they are, what they like. What did I like to eat? Where did I go? Like, what's my actual love? What do I enjoy? I don't even know anymore, because I'm so wrapped up in this motherhood thing. I'm doing all the things, giving all the things to the child, giving all the things to the spouse, giving all the stuff to the family, friends, ministry, trying to be aligned with all of these things. I've forgotten who I am. And it's not okay, because it actually seeps into all of the things. Like, why am I angry? Partly because I don't know what I like anymore. I don't know who I like. I don't know what I like to eat. I don't even know if do I even like green? I don't know. Do I like green? I just bought the top because I needed it. No, I'm not saying that that's for real, but example. All right. So a lot of the time we stumble into this situation of, I don't even know who I am anymore. Then we also have mum guilt, because we're not doing all the things that we wish we were doing. Like, oh, I should be doing more of this. I didn't do enough. Oh, I was angry today. I shouted. Mom guilt sets in. We start to feel undeserving a lot of the time. Who am I to, who am I to have this? Who am I to want this? Like, we start having this imposter syndrome. Like, who am I to want to even become anything more than what I am? Who am I to want to have a better life, have better children, have more money? Like, you start questioning all of these desires that you have. One of the things I want you to walk away with is, where's the scripture? I don't know where it is, but the scripture, I can't, off the top of my head, God grants you the desires of your heart. I believe it's a psalm. He grants you the desires of your heart. And I look at that in two ways. He actually grants you the things that you desire, but then he also gives you the things to desire. There's nothing wrong with desiring to have a better walk with God, to have more money, to have nice clothes, to have a better relationship with your children, to have a better relationship with your spouse. There's nothing wrong with any of these things. God gives us the desires of our heart. He places things within us. What is the reason for it? That's a different thing. What's your motive for having these things? Do you just want to show off? No, but you want to be better. Like, you desire better, you desire more. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's the first thing. You need to know who you are and whose you are. And that is, it's okay to desire more. It's something that God's put in us as human beings. No one desires to stay as they are. They always want something more. Whether they want to work for it or not, they want to be better. They want more food. They want more money. They want a better house. They want a better whatever. They just want better something. And the desire is there. It's inbuilt within us. Nothing wrong with the desire whatsoever. So I want to give you 3 things that I realized really help with this. They helped me with it. So I'm sharing quickly. Number 1, God doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the called. So in your motherhood journey, when you have a child, there is no qualification. Like, there is no amount of study. There is no study. There's no qualification. There is no rule book. There's no manual. There is nothing that you get beforehand that qualifies you to be a mother. However, they pack you up with all your stuff. your red book or whatever it is, and they say, bye, see you later. And they expect you to know what to do with this new human being. But there is no manual for this, like no physical manual that they just give to you. The word of God, however, and God himself and other people who have gone before you, however, have these gifts, skills, abilities to be able to share the information with you. So know that part of the reason why you get easily triggered, or why you are feeling, uneasy, why you feel like, who am I, the imposter syndrome, the undeservingness and stuff, partly because you just weren't taught how to do motherhood. And let's just own it. I wasn't taught. That's okay. So we learn. Don't be upset about it. It's just one of those things. You didn't know how to walk. You didn't know how to crawl. You didn't know how to run. You had to learn. And that was okay. All of a sudden, now that you're a mum, you're just supposed to be qualified to know how to do that. Listen, we're all learning. I am 12 years in to motherhood, and I'm still learning. My first child literally doesn't have the same mum as my second child, or my third child, or my fourth child, or my fifth child, because there's a constant transformation, evolution type thing that happens. And it's okay. It's all part of the anyway. So God doesn't qualify the call. He doesn't call the qualified. He qualifies the call. And everyone goes through some kind of training. So even the big boys in the Bible, let's go to the Bible, yeah? And we've got David. Like, they all go through this time of training. So David had training. He had to go into the king's palace, and he was around Saul, like playing the thing, he playing the harp for him, and he got to learn palace ways, palace etiquette. Jonathan's friend. So Jonathan was his bestie. Jonathan taught him the kingdom ways and stuff like that. Like, he wouldn't have known how to do that stuff had he not been in the right place. He had to get that training. We've got Joseph. Joseph had to go through lots of different places. He went from the pasture, he went to the pit, he went to Potiphar's house, he went to the prison, he went to the palace. So he went through all of these different places, learning different things as he's going along. We've got Moses. Moses learned from his mum. Then he learned in the Pharaoh's, what are them things called? They're not castles. Learned there. Then he had to go to the wilderness and unlearn and relearn about God. And come on, like, these people are big in the game. We look at them. They had to do training. We have to do training. There's nothing different. There is nothing new under the sun, Ecclesiastes says. Why do we think that there's something different here? All right, so there's a time for training. It's uncomfortable. Any of those stories that we know that I just mentioned, we know they're uncomfortable. Even Esther had to go through a level of training before she went to the king, and the king chose her. Like, there's a level of uncomfortability. It doesn't feel nice, and growth doesn't really feel nice until we reach the level of success. When we see the fruit, we're like, oh, that was worth it. But at the time, it's not nice. We don't like it, right? And we've got to think of it like teething. Teething, if you're a parent, you're a mother, you know teething is like a horrible experience. Nobody sleeps, bogeys, everyone's upset and annoyed and stuff like that. But they have to go through their go-through to grow these teeth so that they can eat food. Then they don't have to be on the boob and the milk and this and that. They can start eating the food, real life stuff, right? Cool. So we get it. It's teething. It's like teething problems, and we have to go through these levels of training. One of the things that we need to know is, one of the things we need to be okay with is that the level of training that we actually have, how we raise our children now, it's because of the level of training that we had previously, and that isn't our fault. So it's like, just own it, accept it. I'm a shouty mom, or I discipline in this way, or I'm more passive, or whatever it is, because of the way that I was raised. And that's okay. But now I know better. I know that something needs to change. Now I have to do something different. Is this thing serving me? Is it serving me to become a better parent? Is it serving me to become a better mom? If the answer is yes, keep doing the thing. If the answer is no, It's time to stop the thing, change it. Let's get the training that's needed and get better. That's it. Let's just do that thing. So number one, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. Number two, it's about your mindset. Proverbs 23:7 says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. So anything that we think is what we actually become. And you know what's even scary? Because whatever we think, we become, we actually pass down to the children. Like whether we think we're doing it or not, like subliminal, back of the mind, subconscious, all that kind of stuff, it actually passes down to them. So it's very important that we figure out who we are and whose we are. And as mums, we don't always take that time because we're so busy doing everything for everybody else. And so we have this, the negativity, it just comes and we just start thinking all of these other things and doing all these, and it doesn't help. It doesn't help anyone. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help them. Being in a negative thought cycle, it doesn't help. So we need to break that cycle, which is hard as well sometimes because of how we were raised. But we have to do the hard work. Otherwise, we'd end up passing down these things to the next generation. And that's not what we want at all. So understand and know negative thinking and negative self-talk and imposter syndrome and all of these kind of stuff, they don't serve us. They don't serve us. But what does serve us is what God actually says about us. And I've got a PDF thing about all of these I am statements that God says, that the things that he says we are, fearfully and wonderfully made, and all that kind of stuff, made in his image, and all of these things. So I'll find a way to link it, however you do that, so you can access that as well. And so what we need to be asking is like, who does Daddy God say that I am? Who does he say that I am? And some of the times we find this really hard because Daddy wasn't there. Like our dads weren't there, or they were there, but they weren't emotionally there. They weren't the guy that we needed him to be. So then now, when God's saying like, rely on me, believe in me, like I believe in you, you're all of these things, we never had that. So we're like, can I really trust what this man's saying? Can I even trust him? Is he even is he even real? All this kind of stuff. We have all of these questions and stuff, but we have to, as Christians, we need to believe this stuff, and we can only believe. Faith comes by hearing the word. We have to get this stuff in the ears, like just get it in the ears, put it on audio, like repeat it to yourself all the time, say the affirmations and declarations. Like we need to get in the word and get this stuff in us, like plant those seeds, because if we don't plant the seeds, it's really easy for the negativity, the cycle, all that kind of stuff to just take over, right? So we need to remember, Daddy God says, you are enough. Say it. I am enough. Like I have all I need. He's given me all I need. And if I want anything else, he says, ask. And it will be given to you. Like, ask. Ask, isn't it? Right. So, one of the things we also really need to remember, that we are his crowning glory. When he created creation, like we were the last. And women were the lastest. So it's like he made the man, he was like, actually, let's make a better version. And so he makes the women. And I'm just like, this is what I'm saying. So anyway, let's just that's not biblical. That's just like, I'm just gonna take that one that God said, God wanted to make us and he made us the best one. Anyway, he made the best last. Say the best. Cool. Anyway, so number one is God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. The second one is your mindset. As a man thinketh, as a woman thinketh, as you think in your mind, that's what you are. And the number three is, he doesn't always give you all the details. So all of the tools. He doesn't always show you all the plans, the whole plan of what's going to happen. If he had told me I would be having 5 children, 3 children, 2 children. If he told me that, I would have I would have just been like, what are you talking about? What? That definitely not happening. That's not happening. One of the reasons the doctors at 18 told me I'm not having any children, right? So if he had told me at that time I'm having loads of children, I would have just been like, I don't even know if I would have believed. I would have just thought it's just my mind playing tricks on me. But over time, he has shown me certain things, but he's never shown me the full detail of what's actually happening. And I've had to learn to submit before I even know the full plan. Hi, everyone. Sorry. Hi. New here. I'm new here as well. I'm new to this whole YouTube thing. Anyway, so one of the things he says, he doesn't give us the whole plan, because if he did give us the whole plan, we would probably run from it. So in terms of, if you hear the children out there, they're making lots of noise. Anyway, so what happens is he doesn't give us the whole detail or the whole plans because he wants us to rely on him. He doesn't want us to do it in our own power and our own strength, which is something that we do a lot of the time. Until we suffer from the burnout and the overwhelm, we get angry, we trigger, we start shouting, and then we're like, oh no, oh, I'm so bad, I'm such a bad mom. That's where the negative cycle starts to kick in. But what he really wants is for us to fully rely on him. He gives us enough light. So what my husband told me this story about this guy who was driving, and there are headlights, and the headlights are on, but this place is like, where they're driving is pitch black, but he sets off driving anyway, right? Because he's got headlights, bright headlights, but you can't see very far in front of him. However, his end destination is miles and miles and miles away, but he can't see the destination from where he is. However, because he's got headlights on, he has just enough light to follow the pathway to see where he's going, so he can get to the destination. If he waited to have the sun come up or for lights to come on, which they weren't coming on, think of like country lanes and all that kind of stuff, the bush, like there are no lights there, so he would never have gone anywhere. And so the thing that I'm saying to you is, we have enough light. God gives us just enough, or he gives you enough for you to start the process, like start moving forward. You started on the motherhood journey already, like keep moving forward. Don't be upset and keep beating yourself up about the things that you haven't done. What about the things you have done? Let's celebrate the things you have done. Let's just keep moving forward, because eventually, if you keep moving forward with your headlights, you will get to the end destination. However, if you stay where you are, angry, overwhelmed, triggered, always looking at other moms and, like it's a competition, or what's the other word? When you're always looking at other people, and criticizing yourself and comparison. That's it, comparison. When you're doing all of that, it doesn't really help you. But keep moving in your journey. Identify the things that need fixing. Identify your weaknesses. Identify your strengths, and keep moving forward. Like, find a community of fellow people that you know will help you get to the next level. Not even like the full destination necessarily, but what's the next stop? Like, just to the next stop. Can you help me get to the next stop? These people help me get to the next stop. Don't always think about the end. Like, these people got to take you all the way to the end. No, like sometimes it's just to the next point. And one of the things in this part, I want us to remember, I heard it from a coach friend, and he said, he heard it from his pastor. Can't remember the pastor's name now, but he said, when we work, God rests. But when we rest, God works. And this is one of the things that I really, really want you to take away, mummies. Like, when God is more than able to do all of the things. There's work that he wants us to do, and there's work that he can do. We can't do his work. We can't do his work, and he won't do ours. So take on the part that you can do. Do that thing and do it well. And the parts that you can't, like, you pray, you ask him for the guidance, and you keep going. Like, keep going. Just take it the next step. Know that people have gone before you. Find those people that have gone before you, and do the thing. So first one is, God doesn't call the qualified, he qualifies the called. The next one is, as you think in your heart, in your mind, that's what you are. The next one, he doesn't always give you the full detail. So you keep pushing, keep going, regardless. Like, who is that girl? If you don't know who you are and you don't know whose you are yet, you need to get in the word and allow him to just cover you in it. Like, you need to immerse yourself. Faith, if you don't have the faith or the belief in what it is that he's saying, faith cometh by hearing. When you hear something constantly over and over and over and over again, like the negative things that we put in our minds, or have been put in our minds from when we were younger, we believe those things because they have been there for a long time. So they need reprogramming. We need to get rid of the old program and install new things. Delete old system and install new system. And that's going to take time, and it's going to take support. It's going to take the right community. It's going to take some effort. But mama, I'm here. And I didn't pray to start, but I'm going to pray to finish. I don't want to keep you too long. This was week 1. So we've got 6 more, at least 6 more sessions. We'll see how this goes. The 7 keys to Tranquil Motherhood. 7 biblical keys to a Tranquil Motherhood. So I'm just going to pray and leave y'all. Father in heaven, Almighty God, you are amazing. I'm just so thankful for the word. I'm thankful for the word. I'm thankful for the washing of the word. I'm thankful for your mums, your children that you put here to do this mighty work for such a time as this, Father. And I pray that the word that you've given me, that they were your heart that you wanted to share with your children, I pray that they receive this, Father. I pray that I receive this. I'm talking to myself as I'm saying these things. I need to practice all of these things myself constantly. Thank you for the reminder, Father. Help us to go into the word and see what you're saying, and help us to continually speak what we seek till we see what we said. You're the same. You are the same. You said something and it come to pass, and you've made us like you. So help us to be very intentional with our words. Help us to put the right vocabulary in so we can get the right output. So the right input equals the right output, Father. Help us to put your word in. Plant the right seeds. Lord, it's not for us to water it, it's for you to water it. We put in the seeds, you water, you nurture, and it blossoms. Help us to be the tree, like planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth fruit in its season. The leaves do not wither, and everything they do prospers. Everything will succeed, Father. Help us to remember that this is the plan that you have for us to succeed. These things I pray in your holy, precious name. Amen. Mamas, have a good week. And I will see you next week. Same time, same place, same mama channel. Untriggered Mama Huddle. And tell your peoples, to tell your peoples, to tell your peoples. And I'll see you. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.